After all.
You are listening to Radical Sacred, a podcast centered around spirituality, nature, and connection.
I'm Phil Dickey, pastor, eco-spiritualist, activist, friend of trees, and a small-town Missourian living in the heart of Dallas.
And I'm Jenny Mislin, spiritual director, teacher, seeker, bird watcher, and a homesick Texan living in France.
Join us now as we live the questions, learn from open-hearted conversations, and explore our own deep and sacred roots.
Our Lady of the Garden by Padre Gotuma. All this time, I felt like I had to describe the things I did and what was done to me, how I had to wander a strange world for years, needing to be busy, sleeping in strange beds, searching through cities for chapels to weep in, learning the stitches that keep a ripped heart together for a while, when what I really need to say is that it rained all night and morning, and the drops were a percussion on the trees, and after the sun rose I saw an insect land on the railing and take shelter, and a bird drank from a leaf. Wild pigs exploded from the bushes where they'd hid, and the sage in the bowl smelt of memory and musk. A toad sat, still as any god, on the wet stone. Amen.
How about the fact that we got to interview Padre Gotuma this season?
I know.
What a gift.
I know. It will always be the craziest thing.
Welcome, friends, to this season 3 finale, which feels so strange to say. What a year of, I say year, season, whatever, of just incredible things that have happened. We hit our 100th episode, which was so cool. Melissa Fritzley came and interviewed us, which is always weird to be on the receiving end, right? Occasionally I do podcasts, like interviewed on podcasts, and I was like, oh, I need to be back on the other side. This is always very strange for me. But yeah, we got to interview Potter. It's been such a fun season.
Yes.
You know, the thing that I love about our seasons is that, like, we go in with an idea, like pilgrimage, and we stuck pretty close to pilgrimage for sure. But like Reciprocity is just like a theme, right? But we don't stick so closely to it that we don't allow for space to navigate. And I think that the not holding too tightly to that, right? And the loose aspect of just having a theme has allowed us to meander, isn't that a fun word? Meander. And wander a bit, and has led to just really fruitful and beautiful conversations. And surprisingly, sometimes has found its way back to Reciprocity in really beautiful ways.
I know. Dear listeners, this won't surprise you, but we oftentimes forget to talk about reciprocity in episodes. Like, we have questions written down. We don't get to all of them.
80% of them most of the time.
Yeah, but we've got them.
Can I just say, Jenny is so good about being organized and putting questions together every episode. And then I hope it doesn't frustrate you, because half the time I'm like, occasionally I'll go through, but often it's just like the conversation meanders. I
know. But it's been really gorgeous how oftentimes whoever we're talking to, it all stems back to reciprocity. Like, I think we can hold it loosely because reciprocity holds us, so I don't think that it has to be the center of everything because it's the center of everything.
I love the way it holds us, right? Like, that's such a beautiful way of inviting this thought of, like, really what is, we've asked that multiple times throughout the season. Like, what is reciprocity? What does it stir in you? What thoughts come to mind? Has your understanding changed over the course of the season of what reciprocity is, or how you experience it, or what maybe it stirs in you?
Yeah, I think so. Because at the beginning of the season, I was really thinking about it in nature, and like, yeah, it's that. It's also all these other things too, It's very relational, and I think living in a different country where you pay taxes and then your taxes go to care for people, go to public transportation and good health care and feeding people and social services and kids having free tram passes until they're 18 years old.
Wow.
Really, France is still a capitalist country. I'm not trying to say that they don't have any problems. But what I'm saying is, since 2016 in the States, my nervous system has been on fire. Like, just not good, you know? Not good. And being here and knowing that there's like a system and a structure that cares for its citizens has made me, I don't know, relax a little and and has helped me remember what happens when people care for one another. Yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I think just in like everything, right? Giving attention to the word and then being intentional, like as like with the invitation that you gave to me, right, was for both of us to go on like a walk or a meandering. I'm gonna just stick with that word. Maybe this title of this episode is meander. This morning I did that, and yeah, just like paying attention to what that does bring up in me. And it's so interesting that you went to this idea of taxes and social services, because it really started to stir a lot of economic aspects in me too. Which is funny because I don't think that wasn't our intention at the beginning, right? And when I think of, you know, the kind of general definition of like reciprocity is just like exchanging, but exchanging for like a mutual benefit, I started to get a little pissy, I guess, because I don't like the question that emerged in my head was, what does reciprocity look like in a world with a trillionaire? You know, and like I just really started to struggle and I started to get really pissy about like the whole aspect of it, that like I don't know that there's a thing of mutual benefit, you know, and like maybe I'm equating an equal mutual benefit, you know, like maybe there is mutual benefit in having a trillionaire, because, you know, like as much as I can complain about Elon Musk, there's a lot of really good things in the world that exist because of not just him, right? Like, but like he's been a part of those things, and I can celebrate that he's been a part of those things and the good that it's brought in the world. And yet
he's the worst.
And yet, like, there's also a whole lot of harm done based on that, right? And like, and beyond the harm that has already been done, there's the potential for way more harm to be done, right? And like, and the mutual benefit for, I think it's the question, right? The mutual benefit for who, right? It's not a mutual benefit for everybody. And that's what I'm struggling with, is like, there's an exchange, which often when I think of exchange, I end up thinking of transactional relationships. And what I think reciprocity originally invited me into was this like, almost like I don't know if dependency is the right word, but like, you know, a relationality, like you were saying, you know, and like in a good way. But when I think about it in this exchange rate of, I'm going to do this so that you can get this, but then I get this in return, you know, like it's almost like a little bit of a quid pro quo mentality of reciprocity that we live in, as opposed to an actual mutually beneficial experience for everybody, you know? And like, that may be idealistic. It probably is idealistic, but like,
well, good. Everyone's pissy that we have our first trillionaire. We're not pissy enough.
Yeah.
We're not pissy enough that someone gets to hoard all of the motherfucking resources. Like, we're not angry enough that that's happening. If we want to live in a system and a structure of reciprocity, things that exist outside of that reciprocity need to make us very angry.
Yeah. Yes. Amen.
Like, I'm very angry that this man has what he has. I am angry about it.
I think that's what I'm getting. Exactly. Because like, I don't think there is such thing as reciprocity.
For him, no. For anyone, well, shoot. I mean, now we're going to get into some stuff, but
let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. But if you talk about him or Jeff Bezos or any of these people, they're earning money off the backs of people that they aren't paying.
Right.
That they aren't paying well. Abuses happen all the time in Amazon, in that space, all the time.
Yeah.
In the spaces where Elon Musk is, he took over that real estate in South Texas and promise to make it okay for the environment. It's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not okay over there at all. They are damaging people and the environment and exploiting all of those things for their own personal gain. And that is the opposite of reciprocity.
Yeah, I think the word that came to mind this morning too was extraction, right? Like we live in an extraction economy. And like we're sold a bill of goods of like, but we're extracting with the idea that good things are going to come from it.
For them.
And that's the thing, right? And it's not zero sum, right? There are good things that do come from some of these things. But
it's almost always on the backs of other people, almost always exploitative.
That's right. Exploitative.
There it is.
I think that's a word. Yeah.
Sure. Today it is.
And I think that's what I was wrestling with, was like this sense of the scales are so off balance.
Yeah.
You know, and just simple things, right? Like in the state of Texas, we're about to have a crisis around, well, water, right? Like Corpus Christi is literally running out of water as we speak.
Wild.
We're about to have a crisis around rural medical care.
Yes.
And we're about to have a crisis around SNAP and food insecurity. Yeah. And not all of it, at least two of those three are related to HR 1, the quote unquote big beautiful bill. But also, you know, a lot of those, you know, we also have this screw worm that's like re-emerged, right? Which because of Doe. I mean, like there's so many things that like decisions that have made are affecting unequally people who don't, and I don't want to like strip people of their power. Everybody has some power, but like we are living in a system where the power has become so tilted.
Yes.
To oligarchs, right? And really, so much of it is based on money, and like that's I think is what is freaking me out a little bit right now. Is that again, we know that Elon Musk influenced the last presidential election.
Absolutely.
And you could argue that, you know, everybody influences elections one way or the other because like money, no matter what. And that's true. And Citizens United is a huge issue. But like if he invested $250 million last time and was influential in the last election, imagine now as a trillionaire what you could do and invest.
Yeah.
And so like when we talk about elections free and fair, there's nothing free and fair about elections literally being bought in that way.
No.
So what started with the season around like our mutual benefit with the natural world around us is, I think, inviting me, I'll speak for myself here, to really look about the systems that exist that are influencing and hurting the natural world around us, right? Again, we are part of nature, but like the more than human world around us that is being exploited, you know?
Yeah.
And so in a lot of ways, I think that the trajectory of this season, again, for me, there's been a lot that we've journeyed, and a lot of my personal journey has been inward, you know? But as I've been journeying and reflecting inward, it's opening my eyes to then look outward as well and see a lot of the pain and harm and suffering in the world. And then I think the invitation then is like, okay, then what is ours to do of how do we help balance the scales at the level that, you know, we can, you know?
Right. I think a few things are important right now. We talked to Kate Thomas and Creative Kate.
Creative Kate.
If you're going to look her up, she's lovely and wonderful.
So lovely.
And she talked about the importance of being your unique self right now and creating out of that space. That really matters right now. You are the only you. You're right. The only one of you. And if we're going to get through this and past this and into something that is more reciprocal, it demands all of us being our unique selves and working towards that together.
Yep.
And then the next thing is we got to remember that line from Rent, the opposite of war isn't peace, it's creation.
Yeah, that's right.
It's creation. It's relational and it's creation. It's not, it's relational and it's creation. So what will our response be to the first trillionaire? Is it going to be to continue to live in a capitalistic mindset in our families, in the spaces that we're in? Is it going to be looking past that and looking through that and beyond. There are more of us than there are of them.
Mm-hmm.
There are more of us than there are of them. And so what is our response going to be, you know?
Right.
And only you and your people, your neighbors, your friends, your family, the people you see every day, your creative partners, can know what that is right now. But it's a time to dig in and to figure it out, right? For sure. For sure.
On that note, good friends. You know what I will say also in my run this morning, often the place that I run through goes through a municipal golf course here next to my house, and then it takes to like this little spot that I've kind of like deemed my wild church place right over here, not too far from my house. It's like a mile and a half from my house, and then just it's still lovely. It's where I saw the goats that one time. We talked about the goats, you know, in the episode. And, so I was running down there this morning, and as I ran through the golf course, which I have a lot of feelings about golf courses too, like
Sure. Yes.
Exactly. You know, like the pub, the country club that's not far from my house too, just literally tore up all of their grass and cut down all these trees. And they're like, "We're planting more trees. There's actually going to be more trees now." Which I'm like, I hear you. And also, you literally just tore up all this grass and redid the entire golf course, which blows my mind. But anyway, I have a lot of thoughts about golf courses in the water that it's consuming in our drought-stricken state and what. Anyway, I'm running through and the sprinklers are running, you know, and it's already hot, but I know it's, you know, earlier in the morning, so that's at least helpful. You're doing, but like as I'm running through and the sprinklers are running and I'm like, oh, so much water. I see these two little girls out on a fairway playing in the sprinklers.
Oh.
And as I run by, I see their moms over on the other side, like just sitting in the shade, like just enjoying a hot, lovely morning while their daughters play in the sprinklers of a municipal golf course.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh, this makes me so happy, you know, like, because in some ways that's a damn the man, like,
it is.
Mentality.
Right.
And I think I've been wrestling with is just the capitalist mentality. And, you know, obviously for like Valerie has helped me, you know, with dealing with or at least inviting me to recognize the beauty and the natural world within the concrete jungle that we're in here in the midst of Dallas.
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful for that. But even like when I was in Panama City Beach earlier this summer, I had this like beautifully spiritual experience with my feet in the water and the waves crashing over my feet. And then I had my eyes closed and I'm just having this like, you know, beautiful experience. And I open them and I'm like, oh, and there's all the like buildings and, you know, not skyscrapers, but like massive resorts and like all the like, I don't know, I feel like I'm being torn by this sense of like the beauty of the natural world. And then like I don't know how to say it other than just like this continued consumeristic, capitalistic, let's build it bigger. Let's, you know, everything's got to be new. Let's tear down a fine golf course to create a new, you know, like just the discarding of things. And I don't know, I feel like that's been and yet in the midst of like feeling and seeing all of that, then being like, oh, but also these sweet little girls are playing in the, you know, the water fountain or the sprinklers, you know, like there's beauty being created and joy. That's what it was. Like it hit me as joy, you know? And I thought what it actually took me back to, do you remember as kids when they used to like, you'd see on TV where, and like, I don't know, in my head, it's New York City. I don't know if it really was or not, but you'd have like kids playing in the streets and then the firefighters would come and open the fire hydrant, you know, whatever. And kids would be playing in the fire hydrant. Like that's what it took me back to, is this sense of like, it's so freaking hot. And like, is that a huge waste of water in New York City too? Absolutely. But like, can you put a price tag on the joy like that, you know? And then I thought, well, apparently you can. It's $1 trillion maybe, you know, like, you know? And then I thought like, but is there, like, I wonder how much joy he has in his life.
I don't think very much, since he keeps having children that he does not care for. And you can sell all of your heart and soul and make, like, you can't not do it. Like, you have to sell so much of yourself to be at that position. You just have to.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking of the Met Gala and seeing the Bezoses there and just all of the wealth and nasty. And let's just point out that Zoran Mamdani didn't go. He was the first mayor to not do that. So kudos to him and other leaders like him.
Mhm.
But I like the little girls playing in the sprinklers. I like that. I like the
Yeah.
plants growing out of the cracks in
Right.
Dallas. I like that. I like the goats on your run. Like, even in the midst of all that is wrong and all that is imbalanced.
That's the word I feel like. I just keep feeling that, like, that's what's stirring in me, is in the
Yeah.
midst of reciprocity, there just feels like a sense of incredible imbalance.
Yeah. We're going to notice that. If people who feel fine right now, I'm like, why? Why do you feel okay? Why are you like, things are going gangbusters, y'all? Like, I'm worried about people that feel like everything's fine, because that requires a level of cognitive dissonance that I cannot muster. Like, I cannot.
Yeah.
Things are bad, and they might get worse, friends. And in fact, they're probably going to. They're probably going to. And so moments of joy matter. Playing in the sprinklers matters. Whimsy matters. Beauty matters. Creating the things that's on your heart. Like, it's a requirement now that we do all these things. We can't give in to we can't give in, and we can't give up, right?
Yeah, what it made me think of too this morning, all these things are flowing back to me now, right? Like,
Yeah. That's why you go on walks, y'all. This is why.
what's funny too,
Yeah.
I don't know if we talked about this before on the podcast, I can't remember, but like I remember exactly where I was when I had this thought. Like, I can go back to right on the trail where I was when this thought hit me. Do you ever do that? Where like it's like so associated with a specific location. It's not about the location, but like it just like is rooted. There's that memory in that location. Anyway, of one of the, again, thinking about balance, in some ways I came into it thinking about like almost like not opposing forces, but like, again, exchange, right? Like a back and a forth. And sometimes it has almost like a little bit of a dualistic nature to it, like you receive while I take. So there's like but then I was like, but there's also the seasons, right? Like there's a reciprocity within the seasons in and of themselves. And like, that's just not a dualism. But there's balance in that, right? There's balance in the seasons too.
Right.
And it had me thinking about like in the cultural, in the economic structures that we're established in right now, there's an expectation of a continual up and to the right. And that's not natural.
Yeah.
Like, what exists in the world that is constantly up and to the right?
Nothing.
Right? Like it.
Good. Yeah.
When you look at the seasons, like there's an annual recognition of it has to be a death season at some point, like winter has to come every year so that something can then bloom again.
Yes.
That acorn has to fall from the tree, right? And it has to land in the ground, and it has to get buried under there and die in the midst of that. Like, there has to be a death to that, right? The caterpillar has to go into the chrysalis and like become mush before it can emerge out as a butterfly. And like, again, I don't think there's anything natural about this expectation of continual up and to the right. And so like, I feel like we're at that precipice of when does it all come crashing down? Like, what is the death of that's emerging or that's about to emerge, and maybe it's not this year, maybe it's not next year, maybe it's not the next 5 years, but like
it's coming.
It feels like we're teetering.
Yeah. Yes. And also, again, when we were talking to Kate, she was talking about one of her friends asked her, "Where are you in the compost pile?"
Yes. Oh, what a great question.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Things are going to die. We might not all make it.
Right.
We really might not at this juncture, friends. But some of us will.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It's a weird space to be in, facing your own demise, extinction. I don't know what to call it at this point. The unraveling of humanity as we've known it.
Yeah.
It's a weird space, and it's a hard space. And also after that, something is going to come from it. Like, new life and different ways of being are going to come from it. I don't know. We're in a personally fairly painful time in our lives right now. We're moving back to Michigan after moving to France, and it's sudden and and it's not fun, and we took a risk and it's not panning out like we wanted to, and it's the death of a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's the death of a lot of things. And also, there's going to be something after this. Like there is.
Right.
There is. Just like there's going to be something after all the hard spaces in your life. I think that, it just matters how we carry ourselves through the deaths of the things.
What I'm thinking about is in the kind of the give and take mentality of it, right? Like so if we live in a society that is constantly up and to the right, like what is again, I don't want to just put it in a dualistic, like the opposite spectrum of that, but we know we're living in this like accelerated space, right? So it took Google more than 15 years to become $1 trillion company, and it took Anthropic just over 5, like so if we have one trillionaire, the reality is like it's going to happen again, so in that culture, in that economic system, what is the balancing piece of that, and clearly, like it's easy to be like the antithesis or the antonym of increase is decrease, so what does decrease look like though? And I think that's what Reciprocity is inviting us into. At least this is a season it had invited me to think about, is like in financial systems, there's more than just money,
Mm-hmm.
and like there's, like you said, like you have to sell off your soul to get to this kind of thing. There's the soul of the individual. There's also souls of institutions. There's like the souls of our shared humanity and our shared creation, right? Like, so what does a deceleration look like at the individual level that then invites a corporate deceleration? And I think we're seeing it with AI, right? Like there's a call for AI to hit pause, from a lot of people, right? That it's accelerating so quickly, and there's a lot of fear behind that, right? So people are saying, we got to press pause, or we're going to there will be this demise, right? Like, and so we know how to do it. We have the ability to do it. And so it makes me wonder then, again, in the culture of AI as well, and where so many things are being pawned off to both algorithms but also LLMs to like create for us, like how do the philosophers, how do the theologians, how do the creatives emerge? All those humanities degrees that were scolded for so long, how do they emerge? How do we, right? I have one of those degrees. How do we emerge? I have 2 of those degrees. How do we emerge to balance, right? And create systems. Like all of these things were created, right? Like it took somebody's imagination to say, you know what, we're going to create capitalism.
Right.
So whose imagination right now is dreaming up a world that is better than this, right? In some places it already exists, like we know that it already exists. There are people who are doing it in places that are doing it better. And when I say better, I mean more equitable. And we're, there's a lot of ways that we could talk about how we've mentioned a lot of them already, but just so I know we keep talking about Creative Cake because it's probably one of our most recent episodes, but like we have to invite that imaginative nature so that we can dream it, so that we can be it then,
Right. I think we're talking about it because it's gonna be the artists and the poets and it's gonna be those people, I think, that play a large role in our changing trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
Because those are the people that are still tapped into their creative pathway, their uniqueness, their all those things. Whereas a lot of people, I think, have, we all forget from time to time about the sound of the genuine within us. We all forget. Right. We all stop making things that bring us joy. Like I'm guilty of doing that a million times.
Sure. Makes me think of Dave Shulkert's episode, right? Like,
yes.
Meaning making. We often focus on the meaning, but the making part is what's, there is no meaning without the making.
That's right. And so, again, like personally getting back to that sound of the genuine in yourself really matters. And collectively, it's getting back to that really matters, and not falling for this lie that we need anything more than what we have, most of us.
Okay, I feel like this has been heavy. And it is and it's important, right? Like there's a lot happening in the world, and like
right. We're not I think we oftentimes say that we don't have an agenda, and we don't ever have an agenda besides just being honest about what's happening and talking it through together, and hopefully inviting all of you into the same conversations that we're having right now.
Yeah, or failing to have, right? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Lightning round. Are you ready?
Okay.
We're gonna switch gears here.
Yes.
Lightning round.
I'm so fast and stuff. Let's go.
Well, first of all, just a reminder that we kicked this off at Wild Goose last year.
Yeah.
So fun. We met so many incredible people who became guests on our podcast all season long. You know, like what a gift that was. And we're going back, right? Okay. So come join us in Harmony, North Carolina in September.
September 4th through the 6th. We are going to be leading something called Touching Grass and Exploring Our Roots, Love in 3 Movements, where we are going to walk the pathways of loving self, loving God, and loving our neighbor through a mixture of contemplative, imaginative, and movement-centered spiritual practices. We are so excited to be there again. This will be our 2nd year, and it's if you've never been, come on.
It's a lovely time. Really, and just so many lovely people.
Yes, who are sitting and doing the things.
Yeah, and again, Creative Kate again. But think about Creative Kate and what she's doing with the pockets, right? And again, she said, right, like bring your stuff. We want to create pockets together. You know,
yes.
Or Grace, Grace was there. Lisa Sharon Harper, just so many of these incredible, not only just minds, but people who are doing beautiful things in the world, both linguistically in their writing and their teachings and things like that, but also just showing up in spaces. So yeah, I'm also, if you're a young adult and or a seminary student, my work is going to be actually doing some things there too. There's the Wild Space tent that will be co-sponsoring for the Wild Spaces specifically for young adults, or young adults who give a damn is how they put it on the website, which I love so much. Whereas the lead now is the pre-festival gathering on Thursday. Yeah, on Thursday. That's specifically for seminary students and people in their first call to ministry. So kind of the more vocational side of things, but the Wild Space tent's for any young adult, any young adult. And the cool thing about that is if you register for either one of those, you go for free to the festival, which is pretty awesome. So so this all started at Wild Goose last year. So fun. And from that, we got to talk to JD Stillwater. Remember that guy?
Yes.
So amazing.
The naturalist. Yeah.
No, JD Stillwater was the science guy from Wild Goose.
Okay.
Not the crypto naturalist. That was Jared K. Anderson. It's been a long journey.
It's been a long journey. Yes. JD Stillwater was very cool.
So fun, right? In the scientific aspect of so many of these reciprocity pieces, so cool.
Yeah. And Kenneth McIntosh
was another one we got to talk to about inner spirituality. That was so wild and fun.
Very cool.
And then remember the Parrot Creek folks?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Also,
they have a lovely space in Oregon that teenagers and young adults who are struggling with substance issues go to. And it's in a gorgeous, gorgeous space. And they learn how to be with themselves and nature.
Out in nature. The amount of times Portland has come up over the last couple months too, I'm like, I think I have to go to Portland.
It's so pretty.
Live recording, Radical Sacred.
Yeah, Oregon's just gorgeous.
I know. One of my fidgetal buddies is out in Portland too, so I need to go visit him. Reciprocity and Flow, Melissa Fritzley.
Yes.
So good. Obviously, love Melissa. Friend of the pod, again, came back and interviewed us for 100 episodes too.
Yeah.
Beth Norcross, Leah Rampey.
Oh, yes.
Spirituality, Wisdom of Trees.
Spiritual Wisdom of Trees. Yes. If you haven't read that book, I invite you to do so.
It just won an award. I forgot what award it was, but I just saw that.
And Liza Rankow just won an award too that we also interviewed. Yeah.
Look, Liza Rankow has messed up my world in the most beautiful way. Like,
Yes.
I've been giving her book out to people. Like, actually, I connected her and Caitlin Curtis recently because I was like, if y'all don't know each other, you need to know each other. And like, they had like a Zoom date together, and like just the best people I know. Liza, I feel like, is a teacher, you know, and like just has so much wisdom for the world right now. And I just want to go to Oakland and sit at Liza's feet and learn all the things. Brooke Williams, Dragonflies.
Discovering Dragonfly. Yeah.
You know, Brooke was I'm sure Brooke listens to every one of our episodes, but Brooke was one of those where we were like, who is this guy?
So cool.
What are we interviewing a guy about dragonflies? And I was like, oh my gosh, Brooke Williams.
Yeah.
That book continues to mess me up too. Just seeing dragonflies now, I'm like, I have a moment every time.
Yeah. All of these people are doing their own unique thing, and it's all so different.
Yeah, right?
All people are doing such different things. There is no wrong way to be yourself, tap into divine flow. And what you've got going on is going to be unique and beautiful and wonderful. Just like all these people's stuff is.
Mike Wang, Oikos, you know, putting out weekly liturgies. Oikon Studios.
Oikos is yogurt.
Oh, that's yogurt. Yeah, he's putting out yogurt every week.
It's really good.
It's really good yogurt. Connecting people to the divine with yogurt. Julia Postuma and Jeremiah Gibson. That was a fun conversation. What a fun group. What a fun couple they are.
The Sex Evangelicals.
Yeah. And then again, our episode with Podreg was just so fun.
And Rosemary Watola Traumer.
That one's always gonna hold a spot for me for sure. Like my poetry debut.
It was great. And I think too, friends, as I look back over this year, it's really lovely to have someone to make things with. Because, well, for a lot of reasons, I think. But, you know, you get to have a front row seat for how someone else like grows and changes, you know? Yeah. And that's been a really lovely thing. Like I was very proud during that episode. Like that was really lovely.
That was, yeah.
Community matters so that you can have someone bear witness to like your life and your joys and your hardships and like all the things. Honest community really matters.
Yeah. Yeah. And yes, thank you for saying that. First of all, I totally agree. And I think Rosemary's a good, like that's a different take on reciprocity, right? Like her gift in sharing her beautiful poetry on a daily basis in my inbox every morning, you know, then leading to like a deep stirring in me that led to me writing, you know, and like allowing me to open in a different way. And then like me sharing it with her and her like getting all weepy and sharing back to me. And, you know, like just all this, that was a really beautiful reciprocal moment for me for sure this season.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, kind of almost a life-changing one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ethan Tapper, Love of Forest. That was a fun one.
The best.
Yeah, that was another one. I'm like, can we go visit Ethan's forest and just roam around?
Yeah. I would be all right with that.
Patty Krawick. I think that's right? Patty. Becoming Ken. So many books that were just like such great books.
I know.
We talked about Grace Jusun Kim.
Yeah.
Earthbound. Oh, we interviewed Saren.
Oh yeah.
And then we changed our intro and outro with their song. You know, like how amazing was that?
They're so lovely. Talk about being in a long-term co-creative relationship and being honest about the ups and downs of it.
Yeah.
Gorgeous episode and a good reminder that creating with someone isn't always like an easy road, and sometimes it takes repair. And when that happens, it's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
We can't be community oriented and reciprocity oriented and not deal with hard things.
Right.
Like it requires intimacy and vulnerability and admitting when we were wrong and having sometimes really hard conversations.
Right. Oof.
Yeah, but it's all a part of it, right?
Yeah. And it just like it's so fun for me too to think like I've been again listening to them for so long, and to just be able to sit and have a conversation that was so enriching and enlightening and heartfelt. Just such a heartfelt conversation. Wes Ellis.
Oh yeah.
Abiding. I had a friend here in Dallas who I do some work with, who's a Presbyterian minister, and she was like, I listened to every one of your episodes, and that was the most powerful episode that I've heard y'all do. Like something about what he said, the abiding aspect just like resonated and like invited me to view prayer in a whole new way.
I love it. I love it.
Like just again, you have no idea, right? Like I knew Wes through the Progressive Youth Ministry. Like that's where I met Wes, and then like he came on the pod kind of randomly, and then it just like again, just these beautiful conversations.
Yeah. When you express your true self, you don't know the ripple effects that it's going to have, and who it's going to touch, and who's going to hear the exact thing that they need to hear from you.
Yeah.
But it's going to happen when you turn up.
Yeah, show up just showing up, and showing up vulnerably a lot of times too, right?
Yeah. And open. And when we were trying to create a Kate, she was like, "Thanks for doing the hard work of putting together this podcast." And we're like, "It's not for us. This isn't hard work. I mean, there are some things that we do that
there are times.
Yeah. Mostly Phil and the editing.
But I haven't gotten the episode edited, and it's like 11 o'clock on a Tuesday night, and I'm like, oh my god.
Not saying there's not ever moments.
Right.
But for the most part, because it's something that we both love so much, like it just feels like play and joy and like expansion, So when you're doing your weird, wild thing, it doesn't have to be commodified. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be anything besides the thing that you're doing. And it's going to bear fruit, and it's going to lead to the next thing that bears fruit. And the making matters. The making matters.
It makes me think, like, again, it doesn't have to be commodified. I was listening to an episode of, I think it's called Emerald Podcast. Have you ever heard the Emerald Podcast? He's also a mythologist.
Oh, cool.
It's really good. He does some really great stuff, and he produces like these really brilliant episodes. And I mean, he actually makes enough money on it where he like supports his family through the podcast that he creates. But he's always like, our guarantee from the beginning was that there were never going to be ads, because he was like, the conversations, they're like the deep learning that's being processed in the midst of these like stories and mythology and stuff. Could you imagine it being interrupted by this episode brought to you by, and he's like, it's just too important to like allow for such interruptions. And so he's like but because the audience believes so much in it, like we've been able to not ever have to go down that ad supported aspect of it, and through like a Patreon mentality, they've been able to, but it just made me, so in some ways there's a commodification because it is a living for him for sure. But like how you do that matters too,
It's one without compromise. And that's really, that matters a lot. That we not compromise the integrity of our thing.
Yeah. You too can support us on Substack. I'm just kidding. You can, but also we have one, right? We have one person supporting.
We have one, so that's great.
Shout out.
Yeah, if you want to read along with what we're doing, we're putting stuff out on Substack a lot more. We'll continue to do that through the summer. It's a nice way to connect. Our friend Elizabeth, who was just here visiting me in France, was like, I don't podcast, but I read what you write, and it's really nice. I'm like, well, thanks.
I don't podcast.
But if you don't podcast, it's a good way to just be connected and
Well, and I'll just reflect on the one you wrote about the Annunciation House. Like you said, that was very generous. I don't think I've written much at all lately, so I need to get back in writing more. But your one on the Annunciation, with the episode we did about Annunciation House, was like just really, I could feel the pain, right? Like the pain that you're wrestling with around the state of Texas, and like this being your home state, and like what a beautiful callback to who the state was originally, again, like, and how we have shifted as a state in the way we treat immigrants and refugees. And I'm forgetting, but you said the original word of Texas comes from the word friend. Is that right?
Yeah, it means friend or allies. Yeah.
Allies. That's right. Yeah.
Means, yeah. in its original form.
Yeah.
That's why it's the friendship state. That's why you have all the Yellow Rose of Texas stuff. Again, what is inviting you might be the thing that brings you the most joy. It might be the thing that's breaking your fucking heart. And right now, that's Texas for me. Like it's always breaking my heart, you know. And I love it. I love it, and I want to do more to speak to the beautiful and wonderful parts of Texas. I haven't been in Texas in a long time. I'm real excited. I'll be there next week.
Coming back.
It's hot, but that's fine.
It's so hot. It's so hot, but yes. But I love the expansive nature, right? Like that this has invited you especially, right? Like you've been writing more, like you created a website for us, like there's been all this like expansive pieces, just because there's a deep love here for this, and like you were saying, there's a bit of a coming alive in the midst of doing this out of joy, right?
Yes.
Which has been fun.
Absolutely.
David Hayward, Naked Pastor, right? Like again, there have been so many.
Our lineup's been real stacked. Okay.
It's been so stacked, like I had a colleague the other day, or a couple weeks ago, a month ago, whatever it was, and she was like, I had her like looking at something on some work that we were doing from last season, and she started looking, she was like, oh my God, like y'all have had some really big names on your podcast. I was like, I know, people just like want to be in conversation, and it's so beautiful.
It has been so beautiful. And
then didn't let my head get too big, but when Bill was like, y'all should be having 5 million downloads because the questions y'all are asking, like this is, I was like, well, Bill, we don't have 5 million. We're close. We're
yeah. Inching there all the time.
Yeah, inching right up and to the right. But even that conversation, so good.
Yeah.
Getting to be in the conversation with Bill Lamar.
Yeah.
So lovely.
Yeah. I think I say this kind of frequently, but I'm going to say it again.
Mm-hmm.
That when we started this, we had no idea the people that we would be talking to.
Yeah.
And we had no idea. But we've kept at it, and we ask the people that we talk to from a space of curiosity and care and excitement, and I think that has opened a lot of doors.
Yeah, absolutely, right. And now like have a fun relationship with a publicist who is like constantly like being like, hey, I think this person would be really fun on your podcast, and
always right. Kelly DeChant Hughes is always right. So.
She's always right. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah.
Your sound of the genuine is going to take you to a badass place. You just got to keep listening to it.
Shively Smith, right? Like
yes.
Thurman. Like we got to talk to Shively Smith, and
so gorgeous.
Jim Keat, who I love dearly. Just a beautiful soul who's doing incredible things in online ministry, and
fantastic.
Christine Tracy. We talked about Teilhard twice this season.
So awesome.
I know. I feel like what an interesting. No, I guess we only talked about Teilhard once this season. We talked about Teilhard. It was last season. That's right. Okay. I feel like there's just so much to learn from Teilhard.
And Stephen Lazarus, all about Henry Nouwen.
And Henry Nouwen, right?
Yeah,
that was so lovely.
Yeah.
What a beautiful. Yeah, his again allowing it brought me to a space, right, of like again diving in on the whole aspect of like broken and like that, like something I've wanted to wrestle with for a long time and just haven't been able to find the space to do it. And yeah, he was really good. The sweet ladies at Holy Wisdom Monastery.
Oh yeah, I loved them. They have been doing such good, important, nature-filled, spirit-filled, inclusive work for such a long time. Those ladies are an inspiration to everyone.
Like maybe we need to go to Madison,
Yes.
Like, is it Portland or is it Madison? I'm not sure. Maybe both. I don't know.
Well, we should go there.
Because it was, again, just that was such a funny conversation, the behind the scenes of that was right as we were beginning to start, like one of them was having tech issues, and
yes.
there was like this rumbling between them of like, but we're trying to record now. She's like, but I can't hear anything.
Yes.
And we're like, oh gosh, like what's going to happen in this episode? And then she ended up just like dropping all these incredible truth bombs all over the place, you know, like just being such this wealth of wisdom and knowledge. And, so fun. Like, yeah, that was a great. Andrea Adams, Hopeology.
Yes.
Like,
I just met through Substack. Like,
right?
That's how we got connected, is through Substack. And now it's just a lovely friend that we have, which is so cool. Erica Smith, the sex educator.
Sex educator was really cool.
Very cool. She's doing really important work around just removing shame.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who doesn't need that?
Right. We again got to sit down with Victoria Lours and Valerie Luna Sorellas again. Again, I know we've already mentioned Valerie once today on this episode, but just every time talking with them is a balm for my soul for sure. I just love the work they're doing.
Yes.
Wild Church Network, and again, still, I actually went back. Jenny and I completed a Wild Church. I don't know, what was it? Certification cohort? I don't know. Were we certified? I don't know. Whatever it was, but like, I went back and like downloaded all the resources from it, you know, because like we were a part of the network. I think we were guaranteed for a year. So, anyway, like, so before we lost access or anything, I wanted to make sure I captured all of it from that, because again, in so many ways, that the Wild Church book has been so influential on me, and then they had the workbook as well, and just conversations with them, and I think over the course of the last couple of years, I think they've had a profound influence on my life.
Yes.
Love that. Scott McKnight, Adrian Gibson on Traumatized Church.
They were great. He's written like 30 books.
I know. It's funny. Whenever you brought that up, I was like the Scott McKnight, like the books that I read like decades ago on like church work stuff. Like,
same one, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And what an interesting pairing, you know, the psychology aspect of, and like I really appreciated their and just like looking at Paul differently, you know.
Yes.
Like an invitation to look at Paul differently.
Very cool. Not somebody I would have looked at differently, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Very cool.
Mentioned briefly already too, but Day Shilkret again, like oof. Somebody from my birthday got me his book Morning Altars. Jenny, thank you. This is such a beautiful book. So we'll shout out Day again too. And his Morning Altars book is so, like, the content is lovely of his writing, but the images in here are so beautiful. So check out.
Altars. It's great. It's so
fun. I made one on the beach when I was there at Panama City. Yeah, it was really sweet. Just to again, attention and intention, right? Yeah. Pauldrum Collins.
Yeah.
That was so interesting too.
Girl in a Box. Swell book. Very cool. Lots of twists and turns. I loved it.
Tibetan Buddhist monastery, you know, like the whole thing, like it was so interesting.
Yeah, small town Oklahoma. Loved it.
Yeah, again, and then Mary, we talked about Annunciation House a little bit, like that whole episode on Annunciation House and Mary Fontana. But Jenny, it's been a journey. Like, it's been such an incredible journey this season.
I know. It's I don't even know what to say about it, really. You know,
right?
Like, words don't properly encapsulate it, I don't think, for me. So
it is fun to go back and think through just all those amazing conversations, and for listeners who have participated and listened to, you know, any or all, like, thank you. And we hope that you have been enriched and have been brought to a space of deeper intimacy with yourself, and hopefully the more than human world around you, because of some of these conversations, and that you have been invited to pay more attention to what's around you and bring more intention to both relationships, but also the space around you and how you're showing up in those spaces. Because I think, again, that's been a huge benefit that I've had from this season. So I hope that that's been translated to you, dear listener, as well.
Yeah. If you want to connect with us, you can do that on Instagram. You can do it on Substack. Yeah, you can email us at radicalsacredpod@gmail.com. That works. if you have a suggestion, an idea, if you just want to chat, just connect with us.
Yeah, I think that's the other piece of reciprocity, right? Is like so many times we just exist in people's ears, and we want to move beyond that too. So whether like writing is a part of that, right? And being able to show up. I love that Podrick does such a good job on his weekly writings where he's like, I'll see you in the comments, and he engages, not every comment that's there, but he engages a lot of the comments that are there. And I know he said he reads all of them. And so just figuring out what is a reciprocal relationship in this parasocial strange world that we have,
Yeah.
Because there, we have things to learn from everybody. And so we want to learn from you and be in that conversation too. So
yeah, if you want to turn up a Wild Goose, that's another way that we can connect in real time. Now that I'm moving back to the States, I'm assuming it will be easier for us to get together and do things occasionally. So we're going to try to do that more often.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but mostly as we wind down the season, we just want you to know that you're not alone. And that things are bad and weird and hard and kind of terrifying. And also in the midst of it, there's joy and opportunity and connection and creativity and all the best things.
Amen. I think that's a perfect thing to end on.
Yeah. Yay.
Yeah, just a thank you. Thanks to you, Jenny, for all that you do in the midst of this and making this possible. And thanks to you, listeners. Again, we would do this even if nobody listened, I think, but we're grateful that people do listen, and we're always glad to hear from folks.
Thank you for being a part of the Radical Sacred community.
In these uncertain times, may you cling to hope and deep connection, and may you work towards living in the spirit of reciprocity with all beings.
Our lovely intro and outro music is Beach Song by the band Saren.
And it's just the two of us here at Radical Sacred, so please help us out by sharing with your friends, rating and reviewing us. Find more of our work on Substack and Instagram.
Remember, you are on sacred ground. Stay rooted.